The All Smiling Faces podcast is now sponsored by Tyre Spot, the Northeast's leading tyre supplier with branches across the region. Tyre Spot don't just do tyres, they cover everything from servicing to wheel alignment. They can handle every aspect of your car's maintenance. For more information, visit tyrespot.co.uk. Enjoy the episode. Hello everybody, welcome back to the GallowgateShots YouTube channel, and we are here. It's Saturday night. It's a live, partial Always Smiling Faces podcast. I am Chris, and I am joined by Decker, who begrudgingly has joined on this one. We are both absolutely shitting our pants about the fixture which is coming up tomorrow, which we're going to focus on throughout this recording. Decker, I'm pretty confident that I know how you feel because it's very similar to myself. But explain it in a sentence or so, just the emotions which you are feeling at the moment.
Oh God, mate. Mine probably started on Wednesday. So, and this is really bad as a fan probably to say this, but the Leverkusen game, it was the build-up of that game, you know, on the telly, on about the lineups and things like that. And my initial reaction was seeing the lineup and thought, bloody hell, that's our strongest team. What about Sunday? Just immediately, my mind was on Sunday. And from kind of that moment, I've just been waking up during the night. This is going to be like a therapy session, this. So
it might not be a good one either.
I'm like, doctor, so I've been waking up during the night. Like, and I mean this as well. I'm not even trying to be funny because we're on here or anything. I'm honestly not, right? I woke up sweating, right, but only from the waist down. Like, my legs and that was sweating.
Sure you didn't piss yourself, mate?
No, I checked that. Yeah, I think I've been trying to explain to Lisa because obviously she just does not understand why I feel this way. She just doesn't get it. And I'm like, I think at the cup final, I had absolutely no nerves at all for the cup final. You know, people around Wembley Way going, "I'm dead nervous for today," and I'm like, "Nah, I'm. It's great. It'll be fine." Like, we're
just to jump in at that point, because this was something that you mentioned in the group earlier on, and a few of the lads went back and forwards. Do you think it's because we were the underdogs going into that? Because I was very the same as you. I was quite relaxed about it. I was chilled, and I wasn't even drinking on the cup final day because me and you drove down, and I drove back straight after the game. And I was really calm about it. And I think that's probably because we were the underdogs and the expectations. I thought, well, I'm really pleased and happy to be here. And at the end of the day, the worst thing I'm not going to do is lose something which we never had anyway. So could it be that?
It might be. I think it could be that. It could be. It could also just be. I need to get some club shop pajamas, don't I?
I'm really surprised you don't have Newcastle pajamas.
No, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I just like it is impossible to explain. Like, two of me very good friends, right? Honestly, got a lot of time for them, right? I think Chris, you'll know one of them. He's a Sunderland fan. My best friend is a Sunderland fan, right? And Adam lad. And I messaged both of them today in the chat we've got, and I says, "How are you feeling about the game?" And I was expecting, if I'm honest, a kind of a cocky response of like, "Yeah, well, we're the underdogs anyway. We're at home. We're flying. Rah, 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 rah." And it wasn't. They were like, "No, I'm dreading it. Absolutely feel sick, feel ill." So them feel the same way. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think I've never. This is why I never wanted them to come back. You see, I never wanted them to come back up. Everyone kept saying to me, let them come. They'll get hammered. We'll get 6 points. No. I did not want this day ever to come back.
I'm in agreement, and it was a question that we got asked a few times on the Monday night show that we do when Sunderland win the playoffs positions, and it was getting closer and closer. And even the last few seasons when they've gotten decent positions, we always get asked the question: would you like to see the Derbies back in the Premier League? And the four of us categorically, unanimously, are no, definitely not, because it's this feeling of dread and worry the night before, which I just can't deal with. And I think what you're saying about certain Sunderland fans, I think it all depends on what your friends are like when it comes to football fans and the clubs that they support. Because we were going to do a podcast with a Sunderland fan and basically just try and get their opinion on it. And the very few people that we could think that would come across well on camera couldn't make it on the days that we're doing it. And the rest of the Sunderland fans that we could think of, we basically said, definitely not, because they're arseholes, even though we know them and they're mates. It's one of those things. And I think, and the things I've seen on social media, because my TikTok and Instagram is just full of Sunderland fans and the content they're creating at the moment. I just don't know how it's happened. I think it's maybe because I've been using the Sunderland hashtag more when I've been posting stuff on the build up to this. So I'm seeing a lot of their things and what they're creating. And a lot of them are buzzing that the derbies are back. And I'm not sure it's just the fact that because they're now back in a position being in the Premier League, which means they've had a successful X amount of couple of years to get to this point, and they're just happy to be here and happy to be in this moment. And it just seems like the complete polar opposite to where the likes of me and you are, Decker, where we're like, definitely not. I just don't ever want to play them again.
I think, you know what you said about us in the cup final, about enjoying the experience, we're the underdogs. I think that's how them feel in many ways. And what I'd also say is, right, if they were doing a Wolves at the moment, so if you imagine they're on 2 points and they haven't won a game yet, they would be absolutely dreading this game. And I actually probably would be a little bit the other way. I'd still be nervous. I'd still be worried because Newcastle, they'll get the first win
just
against
like we
us.
were in the FA Cup game. Well, shit, we're pants heading into that.
I was, yeah. And I would still feel that way. But I think that's why Sunderland fans are so, because they have done very well. I mean, I kind of, you know, we can't deny that, right? They're unbeaten at home. They've they took Arsenal pretty much all the way. They've been really impressive. And they're probably thinking, if there's ever a chance we're going to be able to beat Newcastle, it's probably now. If I'm honest, to them, they're probably, because they're riding that wave and they're flying. Whereas that's probably why I'm worried, is that for all I do think, I think I referenced this on Monday, didn't I? That them have had the greatest start of all time, and we're only 1 point behind them, right? So we're doing okay, but it doesn't feel that way to me. I don't know, it doesn't feel that way. And that's why I'm probably as nervous as I am, because I feel like, I don't want to be negative, but I feel like they could win, right? I feel like they could. So I think that's
a possibility, because you just look, like you've just said, you just look at the likes of the form which they've got at home, unbeaten at home, and they've done very, very well to do that, because we kept on seeing at the start of the season, well, they haven't came up against anybody yet. That argument's going out the window, and very quickly going out the window. It's gone. It's well gone. But I just want to, like, those that are watching and already interacting in the comment section, if you do have any questions about anything Newcastle related, or mainly Derby related, then drop the questions in straight away, because we will go throughout this one. We'll try and be as interactive as possible, as we continue the dread into Sunday.
I was going to say the dread,
the dread. And do you know what is? I think a lot of people think, they're like, oh, what they're worried about, like Newcastle, and I did a very brief recording which went on Instagram and TikTok the other day. It was only about 7 or 8 minutes, where I just sat in front of the camera and gave my thoughts on the opinion, and my opinions on the derby itself, which is coming up tomorrow. And I said, on paper, Newcastle United are categorically the better team. There's no denying that, right? Newcastle players are better than Sunderland players. They're just more talented. There's no argument against it. And if, like, the Sunderland fans disagree, that they're entitled to disagree, even though they're completely wrong. But going into the likes of a derby fixture, it doesn't really matter sometimes, because it's certain key moments and certain key areas on the field where, if you win that individual battle, and that changes the whole dynamics of the game. And we'll talk about the likes of the midfield dynamic soon, because I think that's going to be the battle that's going to happen in the middle of the field, and that's what's like the Sky Sports are picking it up to be as well. But what I did want to address there is a lot of the content which I've seen, and this is from neutral fans, not Newcastle or Sunderland fans. There's a lot of content creators these days from different clubs that do a combined starting 11, and I've seen loads of them recently, and I am unbelievably shocked to see the majority of the players that they're picking being Sunderland players. And I'm not sure if it's just to wind us up to get interaction from the likes of the Tyne side of the Northeast for bites. But absolutely mental. I saw one the other day, and it had one Newcastle player, and it was Elanga that was in it. Like, blew my mind.
Clearly knows nothing about football. Listen, a lot of a lot of social media people that I see and listen to, they're so narrow-minded and so short-sighted of, literally they are judging people's lives and performances on one game at a time. There's no stock in the bank. There's no it's horrendous, some of the things I see. And I agree. To be fair, I think Shaka did an interview on Sky in the build-up to this match, and Shaka said, "I'm aware that they are a better team on paper. I'm clearly aware of how good of a team they've got. I'm clearly aware of what they've achieved." He was really complimentary about her, because he's probably got a brain. Probably it helps. So it is true though. But I'll also you can cast your mind back, and I hate to do this, but look at West Ham away. Look at Brentford away. I categorically tell you that on paper we're better than West Ham. But if you don't go out there and do your job and do it the right way, you're going to get found out. And I have, which we'll probably come on to during the show, is I have serious concerns of certain aspects of them against us. Of what I'm worried about.
So I want to start because we've heard news from a pretty reliable source today that
garlic. sorry.
A reliable source that we are going to see another change in the sticks. It's not John Ruddy. Nick Pope will be returning as Newcastle United's number one, and Ramsdale will be rotated out. What's your thoughts on that, Degger?
Well, first of all,
I know we had a big discussion on Monday, but just for the people that weren't tuned in on Monday.
Yeah. First of all, if it was John Ruddy, I would not be watching the game. So can I just say that? I would just be telling you, wouldn't even be going on. I wouldn't be going anywhere for it, right? I was really quite passionate on Monday about my thoughts on Pope and Ramsdale. And my biggest issue is kind of like horses for courses in some ways, because I feel that I've got nothing against Ramsdale shot stopping. I think he can save anything almost that you'd ask of any keeper, really. Great with his feet, all the rest of it. I'm concerned at him from set pieces, corners, free kicks. Shit scared. Every single time the ball goes in the box, I'm worried about him. Now, people then throw the argument of, well, crikey, did you see Pope against West Ham? That punch he did, blah, blah, blah. However, I just feel inside more confident if Pope starts. If the team is going to be throwing bombs in the box, in the kitchen sink in the box, I'd feel more comfortable personally with Pope. That's just how I feel. Just because of his size, that's what I mean.
I'm still firmly on the fence because I'm one of those ones that said, well, on the last 3 games up until Pope picked up this injury, that every time the ball came into the box, I was shitting my pants at that point as well, because he was flapping at things and I was trying to punch things, and there was one that it just glanced off his knuckles, one of them. And Pope didn't look great from set pieces and balls coming into the box at that point. So I think, I don't know, I think if we're going back on previous history, yes, Pope is the better goalkeeper. There's no denying that. And do you know what it is? If he's in goal tomorrow, then whatever. Like, I'm not that lost. I don't really care which one of them start, because neither of them really fill us full of confidence at this moment in time, from what I've recently seen from Ramsdale and what I saw up until Pope's injury for those handful of games. So I'm on the fence with it. I'm not sure what people in the comments think, but there's a couple of messages there. So this is from Indigo Figure that says Ramsdale hasn't seized his chance. He's as bad as come on in his area as Pope is with his feet, which I do agree to a certain extent. I do, but I don't think Ramsdale's been tested enough.
Well, maybe not. I mean, he's only played a couple of games, right? And I think, I still think the Spurs game. I still think the Spurs game wasn't great. I think I'm not necessarily blaming him for the second goal, as in the dive for the goal. He was blocked by a number of bodies, and people have hung him out to dry that he dove so late. And even I jokingly said he dove late. That was the punch before that I didn't like. The punch against Burnley that hit our own bar is horrendous. I mean, horrendous, right?
That was a flap,
and I have to, and I'll bow to people's knowledge here, but I felt that the goal against Leverkusen at the midweek, the own goal from Bruno, I've only seen it back twice, but that ball seems to drop almost in the 6-yard box, and he is rooted to his line. And I'm surprised that he's not able to come out and try and deal with that. Not off the Bruno's back. I understand that. What I'm saying though is, while the ball is coming in before it's headed, I'm surprised. I would want my keeper to come out and get that or punch it. But maybe I'm being harsh.
I think looking back, I think there was a few players surrounding him.
Well, this is a problem with modern day corners and set pieces. They surround the goalkeeper in such a way he looks tiny, absolutely tiny, and that's what really scares. Now, shot stopping wise, he pulled off some worldies, by the way, at Leverkusen, some really, really good saves. I don't want to take too much away from him.
And I think that if you look at Bruno's goal that he scored from the corner the other week, if you look at Gordon's positioning on there as well, Gordon's just right in front of the goalkeeper. Their goal, I'm just saying the goalkeeper, Dubravka, isn't it? Dubravka can't do a single thing because of the player that's so close to me, and he even gets a bit of a push from Gordon as well. So I think it's very, very hard for a goalkeeper to come off the line these days from the likes of corner kicks because it's so congested, so flooded around that 6-yard area.
I think, like, again, I might just try to be old school here, maybe, and I may come across that way sometimes, but like for me, Dubravka on that moment, he should be absolutely choke slamming Gordon out the way, I'm not having you leaning up against us. Get away, get off us. Do you know what I mean? Like I would expect my goalkeeper to be stronger than that. But on the flip side of the Pope thing, like obviously he has been out for a bit, and you would like to think if he's coming back, Pope, Howe would make sure he's 100%. That just worries me that if he starts a game and he isn't quite 100%, we can't be having that either, mind you. If he's because I watched his press conference after the Leverkusen game, and they talked about, they had like an embargo part where all they talked about was the Sunderland game. And on that, Pope, he said, is there any comeback on the injuries like Botman, etc.? And he says, no, does not like we'll have any. Now, he's either doing the cards close to the chest thing, or this Pope
which
thing.
Is exactly what I would do if I was Eddie Howe at that moment in time.
Yeah, that's fair. That is fair. Yeah, I probably would do the same.
I want to move across to the centre-back partnership. I think we're probably going to be in agreement as to who we think should be starting at centre-back. And I'll say it straight away, I think it'll be Dan Burn and Malik Chow. The reason for that is because Malik Chow has been fantastic this season, and Dan Burn's dominance in the air from set pieces, because I think you mentioned on Monday night, Sunderland like to chuck that ball into the box from long throws, and they've got the likes of Ballard that'll attack everything inside, heading pigeons and all sorts. Yeah. That fella. So you need Dan Burn in there.
I'm with you 200%, mate. I think I always think it's really important that in these games you have players that know what it means, and Dan Burn is one of them. He listen, he's one of us. He will be probably as much as I am, probably on the toilet all the time. He's obviously played in some massive games. We've won a cup final. He's been there. He's scored in a cup final. Listen, he gets the big moments. He understands the big moments, but he will know how big this game is. And you need players within the team, not just on the pitch. You need him on the team bus. You need him walking through with the players. You need him in the dressing room. You need him on the pitch. You need him throughout. And for all I think he has been at fault for a few goals, recently, I will say that I think the Spurs one, there was a few in the Spurs game. He still is 100% an absolute nailed-on start for me, as is Chow, by the way, as well. For reasons you just said.
100%. Just sticking on the likes of what you mentioned there, likes of the leadership. We've had a question from Chippers that says, could we see Trippier on the bench tomorrow for some leadership or travel with the squad? If he's not on the bench because of an injury, I'd be very, very shocked to not see Trippier in or around the players somewhere.
I'm with you 100%. I think it looks like he's not going to be part of the squad, which listen, we all know what the benefit is of having Tino and Hall. It's probably the most important part with team, actually, in many ways, isn't it, having them two? Mm-hmm. But I 100% want Trippier around the group. So if it's not on the bench and he's just there, if Ruddy can get paid to put cones out, I'd rather have Trippier there to, give knowledge, give experience, leadership, all of that. I'd much rather have Trippier there. I actually see Trippier almost being like a coach, that sounds daft, doesn't it? But like being a coach alongside with the staff, I definitely have him
there. Give us 2 seconds. I think my mic might have just disconnected. Oh no, I'm back. Yeah, I'm back. There's been a question in relation to the current status of Joe Linton's injury, because he did against Marseille, and Eddie was questioned about it, and he said that he wasn't sure the severity of it. So the question from Blue Rhythm Boy that says, do you think Big Joe will start? And if he's injured, who should come in, Ramsey or Willock? I've mentioned this a few times. Our strongest 11 over. If we're looking at Nick Pope, what he's done previous for the football club rather than recent form, then we'll have to do the same with the rest of the players. And on merit, and I'm speaking like Salah here. On merit, Linton, Tonali, and Bruno.
Don't throw him under the bus.
Best three midfielders. So for me, if all those are available, they start for me. And all you need to do is look back at the last fixture against Sunderland in the FA Cup where we smashed them in their own backyard. Up until Joe Linton went off with an injury just before half time, he was unbelievable.
He was. He was. I do think, though, I think the change does need to happen. And I hate to say this, because I absolutely love him. I do think for us to become a better side, I do think it's Miley for me is the player that needs to play. And that's how I feel, right? I think Miley's class. I really do. I think we're better with the ball. I think we'll keep the ball better. Retention's better. Also, Miley even got a goal midweek, right? Like, unbelievable. But as much as I'm campaigning for that change to happen, it doesn't need to happen tomorrow. And for me, I would still stick with Joe Linton. And it's just simply because we need the physicality side of Joe Linton to really come through tomorrow. Now, what I would question, though, lately is I'm not sure he is quite that player anymore. I don't think he is as physically as what he used to be. I am worried about the small injuries he keeps getting in games.
It seems self-inflicted as well, Digger.
All they do, and believe me, he will get one tomorrow. I'm telling you now, there'll be a moment in this game where he's lying down, because there's gonna be hell on tomorrow, man. But I feel like Joe Linton has to start. It has to be them three in midfield for me. But I think longevity-wise, get this game over with. I actually see the future of being Miley personally.
Yeah, I'm completely with you. From what I have seen from Miley this season, let's remember he's normally came in and replaced Tonali in that position and more of a Tonali role in the team, which I think suits him unbelievably well from what I've seen so far. He's probably the closest like for Tonali, and he's not the same player, but he's a close enough fit if needs be. And I love what I'm seeing from Miley this season when he's came on, like you said, scoring his goal the other day. I'm just loving what I'm seeing from him. I really am. And we were asked a question last week if you would rather have Anderson or Miley in the team, and it's a very hard question because obviously Elliot Anderson's doing so well at Forest and for England as well. So I'm not even going to answer that question because I think you're taking the things away from each player if you go in either direction. Yeah. But Miley is going to be a superstar, and I mentioned this. I can't remember which game it was exactly. I mentioned it a couple of times that Eddie Howe was questioned about Miley coming into the team and how he performs in training, and Eddie said that Miley sees himself as on level with the likes of Bruno and Tonali. He's not there as a replacement for them. He wants to compete for their positions, which I absolutely loved to hear.
Yeah, if you didn't say it, I was going to reference what Howe said, because you think of, even if you go back a couple of years ago when we played like Paris Saint-Germain away in the Champions League and in other games like that, big games that we've played in Europe, Miley's he never seems phased by any moment that he's through into. And for such a young player, I love how confident he is on the ball. His recycle of the ball is absolutely brilliant. And what I've noticed even more moving forward, and this comes with age, experience, confidence, etc. When he first came into the team, he would often play the safe pass, right? Which is absolutely fine, by the way.
Yeah.
He was playing the safe pass. What I'm seeing now, though, he tries to play the more progressive pass, the more difficult pass, to start off moves and to create stuff. And he is honest to God, he's going to be an absolute star. He really is. Me worry overall, and I'll honestly say this. I feel like when you said about being a place, a like for Tonali, I have a horrible feeling Tonali will go at some point, and then I think he will be the player that kind of continues to be in. If that makes sense.
Yeah. So there's a question in there, and it's kind of something which we already discussed about Joe Linton, but Dave Light says, I love Big Joe, but is he coming to the end of his time? Too many injuries stacking up. It's exactly what you were just saying, and something which we've said numerous times throughout the season. He just hasn't hit the heights this season as what he did previously. And that could be the likes of the daft little niggles that he's been picking up and things like that. And do you know what? He's still a great player. Of course he is.
Yeah.
But I think we've always said that if we were going to look at improving the midfield, it probably would be Joe Linton that gets replaced in that midfield. I
think. I know I've just criticised him. His physicality doesn't look quite the same. I think actually to be fair, the biggest area that people are criticising, for me included, is his ball retention. He seems to lose the ball countless times now, whereas when I used to praise Joe Linton, I used to he would always find a shirt. Always.
So bad against Leverkusen. He lost it about 3 times in a row within 5 minutes or something.
Yeah, so loose and careless on the ball, and I'm afraid you cannot have that. Like, I'm sorry, the ball retention and keeping the ball moving and stuff is huge. That's where Miley is leaps and bounds ahead of Joe Linton. Of course, so you get the physical side, which is what I love about Joe Linton.
Yeah, there's a lot of people agreeing with Joe Linton. Just giving him massive praise. But kind of just repeating what you've said as well. Let's go through some questions, because we've had some questions already. This one is from Damien Pierce, that says, "You lads watching it in the tune. Don't trust myself to watch it in Shields." So we made the decision a couple of weeks back that so people that don't know, me and Dick are both from South Shields, just like Damien. And people that are watching overseas that don't know what South Shields is. South Shields is a coastal town which is slap bang in the middle between Newcastle and Sunderland. So if we went to a pub as a Newcastle fan or as a Sunderland fan, you are 100% going to be sat next to a fan of the opposition team, which can turn ugly. I've seen this previously in Derby days in South Tyneside. So we are off. We are also heading to Newcastle. There's about 10 of us that have been invited to NX. So that's where we're going. And I'm thankful for it. Decca, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I'll be honest. Damien's spot on what he's saying. Like, I was like, some of the lads I was going to watch it with said, "Oh, can we just stay local and stay in Shields?" And I'm like, I'm sorry, like, because they were like, you think of the Fountain, right? I live around the corner from there. That is the biggest Sunderland pub ever. It's our match. So I'm thinking, where can we watch it where it's going to be enjoyable?
Have the coaches that leave from.
That's right. Yeah,
from the Fountain to take
people
just
around the corner.
Yeah,
exactly. So I was like, I just felt anywhere that we went round here, there's a chance there could be hell on, right? So then it was just going to be in my house. The lads were just going to come here, right? And to be fair, I was like, all right, if you want to do that. But ultimately, I did want to go to town because, listen, like, I want to be able to enjoy it with our people, right? And also maybe cry with our people if it doesn't go our way. But I think it's a safer bet. Not going to be any trouble. And I was obviously grateful that we got the opportunity.
I'm quite interested to hear what everybody else is doing. There's over 100 people, so I am quite interested to hear what other people, or people are even going to the match, because this is the first time for a little while it hasn't been a bubble trip, what they refer to it as. And if you're not sure what that is, it's basically where every Newcastle fan has to go to St. James's Park first. You've got to get on the coaches supplied by the club, or registered to the club, and use all leave from St. James's Park with a police escort. I did that once, and it blew my mind. Absolutely blew my mind, because you're on the coach, and you've got cop cars flying past you, stopping cars at the next red lights. Then you're just constantly driving all the way to Wear-Tyne. And then it's when you hit the likes of South Hilton, I'm going to say, or what's it called? It's Southwick, that area. You're just not moving, and it's just like a snail's pace, like all the way to the Stadium of Light, and you've just got loads of Sunderland fans walking past you, sticking their fingers up at you, and like, well, what was the point in just flying with through Gateshead just to hit Sunderland at a stop? It's weird. It's really weird. But what I did like, just before you hit the Stadium of Light, there's one Newcastle fan that just had his Newcastle flag hanging out of his back garden in Sunderland. I thought, you are brave.
What a guy. I'm stunned I haven't done that, or something like that. To allow fans just to turn up when they want and get the metro when they want, I just think it's a recipe for disaster. Honestly, I find that quite bad. And to be fair, obviously, some of the lads that go to, honestly, nearly every away, Emma, for example, Chris, he couldn't get a ticket for the game tomorrow. And I mean, he goes to every away game, right?
Yeah.
And he just couldn't get one. So those that are going, I hope they have the best day ever. But I think most importantly is just stay safe, because it's not worth getting any shit for.
Yeah, I've done it twice. I've done Stadium Light twice. I've done my most recent one was the Defoe volley, which was disgusting. Worst time in my life. Just before half time as well. So you've just got to sit in your seat and listen to all them arseholes. And my first one was the Ryan Taylor free kick, and that's when I was sat in and amongst the Sunderland fans, couldn't get a ticket in the Newcastle end. So I was sat right first row, just right in front. And once again, despite Newcastle winning that one, I would never do that again. I took 2 steps in the Stadium of Light, and I bumped into somebody that I know from South Shields, a Sunderland fan. He looked around, he just went, "What the fuck are you doing here?" And I was like, "Shut up. Like, don't tell anybody else." And he's like, "If you score, I'm going to come find you and tell everybody around you." Which he didn't.
Well, I was in the away end for the Dabby's Ass one. If you remember the Dabby's Ass one with the NTL blue top, I was in the away end for that one. But I was in the home end for the 4-1, which was Shearer's last game. And I was sitting with a Sunderland fan. So there was me, another friend who was Newcastle, and then him who was a Sunderland fan. And we're left on the 4th goal because he was like, I can't stay. Like the Sunderland fan was like, I'm leaving. I said, well, I'm not just going to stay with just us as mags. Like, so we went as well. And I was in the car with Mick. And do you know outside where the Tesco's in, the McDonald's is? You know that area? He had parked his car there. And the Sunderland fans were just because it was 4-1, right? They were just streaming out, right? And Mick put Local Hero on full blast in his car. Never forget it. And they were trying to get in the car. They were trying to get in.
I would not be stopping at any traffic lights. I'd be gone.
Mate, never seen anything like it now. Honest. Well, I say I've just blamed Mick there. Really, it was me that put it on. I remember that I put it on. and I so sorry, Mick, it was me. And I turned it up, and it was we've just coming out of the McDonald's sort of area, and all the heads just turned, and it was like something off like a zombie film, you know, and they're just coming at the car. It was unbelievable, like. But we got away anyway. So
zombie something from Mordor with them lot, absolutely ugly bastards.
Honestly, it really was. It was like what was that show called? That zombie TV series, The Walking Dead. It was like that. Honestly, they were like just crawling on the bonnet and that, and trying to get the in, and they were shaking the car and that, and we were just going, "How about Luke? He wrapped it up and all this." And it was just brilliant times.
Let's go for another couple of questions. This one is from Blue Rhythm Boy. That says, "Looks like we will wear the blue kit. Are you happy?" This was a discussion that we've been having for a week or so, because when the Lancers versed each other, they both wore the home kit, black and white and red and white, and we were hopeful that it would be the same for us. But I think it's that horrible bold patch on the back of the Sunderland shirt, which is just a block white patch, which is disgusting. I think that's probably restricting us wearing the black and white stripes.
I think ours is quite white as well. Like this, especially this season, there's a lot of white in our shirt. Listen, for me, it should always be black and white against red and white. That's what it is, right? That's what now. It is what it is. We can't change the decision. I much prefer them to wear that one than the green one. I will admit that. So I'm happy that they're wearing that one, because I actually think it's a lush shirt. And believe me, if them win tomorrow and that shirt will go down in history for me. So, like, you know, but of course I would have preferred black and white. Of course I would. Who wouldn't?
Yeah, 100% agree with you. I would have been like, I know obviously the green kit gets a lot of hatred because we hadn't won a game in it, but we've won a couple now. One away from home against Everton as well. So
I just don't like the kit
either. Yeah,
I just don't like the kit. It's not my favorite. No, it's sport washing for me.
We've had a donation from Josh. He does apologise because he missed Monday's show as well. So he says, just sending some love as I missed Monday night. Do you think there's extra pressure on Eddie to get a win, given our slow start to the season? There shouldn't be, given all he's done for us, but I can't see us getting anything, sadly. Jesus, Josh, turning it straight on a negative there, didn't you, mate? I don't know. I don't think there's any pressure on Eddie to win this. Like, of course not. I don't think his job's relying on or anything like that. I think maybe if we had to continue that bad run of form, then we'll go to the Stadium of Light, then we'll lose that. Then maybe we're having a different discussion then. But nah, there's nothing riding on that from a manager's point of view.
No, there's not. Listen, there'll be a bit of noise, and people will be unhappy. There will be, but there's no issues with his job or anything like that. I'm with Josh on the thought of doesn't feel or think we'll get anything. I sadly feel the same way, and maybe I'll feel different tomorrow when I'm with all of yous and we're having a drink and stuff. You know, you start to believe a bit more, right? But I just the thing. I know. Listen, I know we spanked Everton, right, and it was amazing. See, if you were going tomorrow, I'd probably feel more comfortable. But we're away from. I worry about we're away from. I just do. I worry about we're against teams with set pieces that are physical and aggressive. Teams that are like that really worries me, and I think that's what them are. In that midweek game in Germany, I just wish we didn't have that game.
Mm.
Now, it wasn't that we played badly. I think the lads showed great spirit to come from behind, all the rest of it. Of course, we conceded late again, which is what we love doing at the moment. But it was just, even Eddie Howe's interview said this. He said, I haven't spoke about the derby to the players until tonight, as in after the Leverkusen game. And maybe it's just the fan in us is thinking, I didn't like to hear that. And I think it probably, maybe, see, this is their cup final for Sunderland. This is their cup final, right?
They'll deny that, but it is.
It is, right? It is. And I was reading loads of stuff about, like, all week they've been doing certain stuff. They've watched previous derbies back. They've watched highlights. They've studied games. Even to the point, I seen a daft thing from a player, I think it was the centre half, said, when I signed and got off the plane and arrived into the car, people are telling me about this game, saying that when you play Newcastle, you've got to win. Like, he's literally just set off the plane, man. So I feel like
just to throw it in there, their manager, Debris, said in an interview this week as well that a fan came up to him when he first got the job and said, when they first got promoted to the Premier League, and said, if you win the derby, then you can go back down to the Championship, as in being happy with it.
That's well, I mean, obviously that's absolutely ridiculous to say that, but that's because that's how much it means to them, right? And you can look at it both ways, and I'm going to try and spin this to the positive. Hopefully you'll agree, and people will. I remember how much energy and focus and everything we put in to the cup final against Man United. The build up to that game was my God, we're going to Wembley again. Very emotional. People are writing letters in the dressing room, and I get all of it, by the way. I'm not criticizing it. Please, I'm not. What I'm trying to say, though, is sometimes that actually can be too much. It can be too much for a player, for a team, because the expectancy and the pressure and the emotion of a game can be too much. And maybe the way we're trying to deal with this is more business as usual. Yes, we know it's a big game, but we've got other big games. And we turn up and more focus on what the performance is and how we deliver what we need to do. But the fan in us does worry that, my God, these have had a full week to prepare. They're massively up for it. We can see it, and that just does worry us a little bit, if I'm honest.
You've just beat one of our members to the punch there as well, Decker, that says this is their season. That's why I think it will backfire on them. Will be like us in the first cup final. So exactly what you just said, mate.
Yeah, I didn't say that.
Too emotional.
So yeah, well, that's what I'm hoping for. You know, I mean, obviously, there's part of us thinks, could that work in their favour? That them know exactly what it means, and they're going to do this, they're going to do that. But if I try and look at it for a positive for us, you never know. It could overwhelm them. You know what I mean?
Shall we do what we used to do a little while ago, Decker? Back in lockdown, all those years ago, and say for every member that we get during this one, we'll go for an extra few minutes. We'll just add it as extra time.
Yeah.
Even though as Newcastle fans, we don't like stoppage time these days because it doesn't end well. Which I am once again shitting my pants for tomorrow because we like to concede late goals. They like to score them until the end, remember. But if you do want to become a member, you can see right below me, right there. If you scan that, you can become a member. It is just $2.99 a month. You get early access to stuff. What a match preview for the Sunderland game, which went out a couple of days earlier for all our members as well. And you get plenty more stuff as well, which is hopefully going to be improved as well in the coming weeks. All right. Let's have a quick look. Let's go through a couple more questions, Decker, because I think did your screen go knackered there as well?
You froze completely.
All right. Did you shit your pants for a second?
A little bit.
We've had a question in from Total J Boys that says, "How's the beanbag treating you, lads? Had Icon send you one out? Thanks very much, mate. The beanbag, it was quite entertaining seeing us four lads from a Monday show try and squeeze into a lift with the beanbag, which had to go on my head. But thanks very much. It's currently in my son's bedroom here, so he's getting plenty of joy out of that one as well.
It's lush, isn't it?
I'd mint, like really, really good. So people that haven't seen it, if you go onto the GallowgateShots Instagram account, it's only a few posts down. You can see the photos of the beanbag along with the links where you can buy one as well. I think it was limited stock last time I looked as well, so there wasn't many left. So go and grab yourself one just in time for Christmas.
I got massive Keegan 95, 96 era feeling out of that beanbag. Like the colours that are on it and the way it was. It reminded so much of a backpack that I had when I used to go to school. It was that same blue trim.
It's got nice little pockets in the side as well.
The pockets.
Well, that's what controls and stuff in.
Yeah, that's what it reminds us of. It's lovely. It's going to be nice.
What I did want to look at, Decker, but bear with us because I'm going to have to change the layout to kick us off the screen just for a second. Was this? So it's the last time we faced Sunderland, and I just want to look at both teams. As you can see, Sunderland do not have many players that are still there. I think from there you've got two starting players. You've got Hume and Ballard, which will most likely be starting tomorrow as well. Ballard scored the own goal in the last time, and he was having a very good game up until that moment as well. And unfortunate for him, and lucky enough for us, he puts in the back of his own net. Then his game just spiraled after that. If you look at Newcastle, just sticking with Sunderland, I'm absolutely good that they still don't have Bellingham because he stunk the place out. He was absolutely rotten that game. And yeah, it is what it is. They've improved very, very well and spent very well in the summer.
They have, and it's a funny one though. I don't mean this disrespectfully. I still don't really know the players. Like, I have to be honest with you, I don't. Right, because I feel like when I've watched them, they're incredibly hard to break down as a unit. You know, they're very, very solid. They work really hard for each other, and they've really massively took the chances when they've came to them. That's what they've never like battered a team, which I'm not expecting them to do. The newly promoted. I'm not trying to be clever here, but they've really took the chances when they've came around in games, which is, I suppose, credit to them. The goalkeeper, I think, is very good. No, by the way,
yeah, he's really good. Yeah, really good. If you look at our team, there's a few changes in our team as well. So from that defense, as you're looking at the game tomorrow, you probably only got Byrne that's keeping his position, but obviously shifting into a centre back role. You've got Joelinton, Bruno. You've got Gordon. Then everybody else is different. You've got
seven players. Yeah, 7 players in there that aren't that are not part of the team anymore. Well, it could be. It's quite scary. It's quite because it's fun. You think sometimes that our team hasn't really changed or evolved much, really, over the years. Maybe
I think I'm not sure what the bench was, Decker, because I don't have that information at the moment. But a lot of the players that were being on the bench would have also been at the club at the time as well. Yeah. So we've obviously, as you can see, just from the starting 11, we have a lot more players included within that, and whether that
Murphy
would
have been, wouldn't he?
Yeah,
Murphy would have been, for example. Yeah,
like so Barnes would have been as well. So there would have been a fair few in there. Whether or not that'll work in our favour, hopefully it does. Because they've already played in this occasion, and obviously it helps that it was once again at the Stadium of Light as well.
Yeah, I think obviously we all know what we're playing Sunderland in such a totally different time. They're almost a different team, aren't they? As a different club, they're a different club almost, And I just think I said it a few weeks ago, and I remember Bestie, rightfully to be fair, said, "Well, what's making you think that?" I said Gordon would play. I just had a feeling for some reason Gordon's going to have a moment, could have a moment in this game. And I am thrilled that he's coming into form. Like, let's be fair to him, he's been brilliant the last couple of games, especially I thought Leverkusen was outstanding. And I seen a comment from someone early on, I was talking at the time, but somebody said that if both teams turn up to their maximum, we will win, right? Yeah. And I think what's letting us get to sleep at night is thinking that if we can manage to meet them intensity and the aggression, if we can match that, there is quality in our team that can hurt them without doubt. And I think Gordon's one of them. Gordon's the one for me, that I feel could really make a difference. I'm worried about Voltemira, mind you. I think he could have a really long afternoon. I really do.
So I'm in agreement with Gordon, and I think probably this is the position where there's a lot of question marks and fans thinking, should Barnes start this one? And I'm with you. For me, Gordon had a great time against Sunderland last time. I know it was a little while ago now, but he had a great game against Hume. It was a great battle that they had, because all you heard on the build-up to that game was Sunderland fans saying, "Oh, Hume's going to pocket Gordon," and it was a complete other way around. Hume just couldn't handle Gordon because he was just on fire that day. But he did have short hair at that point. Now Gordon's grew that hair a little bit. He's not the same Anthony Gordon as he was back then. But I'm in 100% agreement with you, Decker. I think Gordon could be the game changer in this one.
Well, you see, I think in these moments, right, I feel like it's football isn't as simple, but it's just what I will be saying. Gordon, I think the last few games has really been flying. I mean, he scored a couple of penalties, but he hit the post in 2 games, I remember. But he looked dangerous again. Yeah. He looked sharp again. And for me, it would be get it out wide to him as quickly as possible and get that Hume on a yellow card. Get whoever it is, that's going to be playing right back on a yellow card. But I feel like Gordon's fantastic at winning dangerous free kicks. He could dribble into the box. He could get players sent off, etc. And that's what we need, And no disrespect to Barnes, man. Yeah, I love Barnes, and Barnes has been excellent recently. It's just Gordon has that explosiveness in his game, which is what I love. And I think Barnes will also play a part, man. Yeah, Barnes will play at some point.
So what would you like to see on the right-hand side? Because Eddie put Barnes on the right-hand side against Leverkusen.
Yeah, and I wanted to ask you
this,
unless something I've missed here. So Murphy didn't play against Burnley. He didn't delete the game because it was Alanga, wasn't it? Played a full night.
I think, yeah.
And then the Leverkusen game, we didn't see Murphy at all either. Now, either Murphy's struggling with something, or he is absolutely keeping him ready for this game.
No, I think they came out that he was struggling with some sort of injury, and I can't remember what it was. I can't remember which part of the body it was. We'll have to get Dr. Walker out to tell me. But I definitely read something. Was it his Achilles? There's something.
Well, if he's ready to go, it would be Murphy all day long. All day long.
Achilles. Chip has just coming in saying Achilles.
Right. So if he's ready to go, it would be him, definitely. Because I feel like his crossing ability and stuff would help Voltemera. Now the thing is, we're just, again, it's just going to be a heated game, like, and I'm not, no disrespect to Murphy when I say this, but I don't know. I've seen Murphy at times in difficult games kind of go missing. However, he can also almost have a shit game for an hour and then put an absolutely amazing cross in it to goal. Yeah. So, but I agree with you. I didn't think Barnes worked on the right, and I never think it works, very rarely. Sometimes it does off the bench, sometimes when he comes on the bench and plays there. But for me, it would be, it would be exactly the team he played against Leverkusen with just Murphy as the replacement.
Agreed. I was told to a lad at work on
actually Pope. Sorry, for me it would be Pope. Sorry to change. There'd be two changes.
Yeah.
If that happens.
I spoke to a lad on Wednesday. It was, and he was discussing the likes of Barnes on the on the right hand side, and he said, well, maybe we could try it with Gordon on the right hand side. But I just think once again we're going to be in that position where we're just putting Gordon in a position that he isn't the best at. Gordon's best on the left hand side, so I think Gordon's on the left-hand side or nothing for me right now, because you need to have your best players playing in the best positions.
Absolutely. And in order for us to, listen, we've shoehorned Gordon up top. We've shoehorned Gordon outright. It doesn't work. It never does. And the only time he looks threatening at us is when he gets on that left-hand side. And actually, Daz has made a great point there. My dad also said that as well, that Murphy will have a shot.
And he always tries.
I get very annoyed with us when we're just passing it side to side, pass. No one's willing to either put the ball in the middle or have a shot. Murphy will. So, and anything can come from that: deflections, corners, etc., or a goal. Anything can happen. So yeah, it would definitely be Gordon left and Murphy right. Now, what I would try and then look at the positives here, right? Again, right? That's just 11.
Oh, he's going to be predicting the win in the next 5 minutes. See,
I'm getting much more confident. You think of the bench in that moment. Then think of the bench for a second, right? You're going to have Wissa, you're going to have Alanga, you're going to have Barnes. Like, for all I know, listen, Alanga hasn't particularly worked in that, right? Whatever. But they're great options still, though, to look at the bench and go, right, lads, we need something different. You know what I mean? And that's where, because I'm a big believer in this, and I say this weekly to you as well. Everyone always looks at the starting 11. It's a squad game, right? It's that your bench plays such a huge role in games. So yeah.
I'm gonna end it on a few questions which I have for you, Dega. So I'm going to start with a negative. What's the thing that you're most worried about?
Sorry, what? As of them as a team? Sorry,
the game itself. It can either be ourselves or it can be them as a team. Right. I'll tell you mine first of all.
Right.
Which works both ways, really. Is our mentality when it comes to later on in the game. And that's what mine is. I'm worried about conceding late and them scoring late because that seems to be what's happening this season.
Well, I've got about 5 things that were
but 99 problems.
So yeah. And Newcastle and winning 8-1. Right. So yes, that is one of them. Now I just want to quickly go back to the Wednesday's game, and I wish I'd never sent the message now. But I put a message in the chat to all of you saying these next 10 minutes are huge for the guys' confidence and mentality here. It was the 84th minute when I sent that. and I was saying 10 minutes as in I thought there'd be some extra time. And if they can get through this game here, it kind of puts to bed that feeling of we always concede late. And I think I pressed send and they scored almost a minute later. It was unbelievable. So yes, I'm with you, mate. Late goals. Absolutely. And not just late goals, it's them score all the time late. Yep. That's the problem.
It's like a cocktail that is served up on I'm a Celebrity that.
Oh, I'm sorry, but it's horrific. Like, it is horrific because they almost suck the ball into the goal, like, when it gets late on. I have another worry, which is out of our control, is the referee / VAR. And the reason why I'm saying that is I remember the Colaccini game when he got sent off, where I felt for the first 40 minutes, there was only one team on the pitch. And then Colaccini got sent off and all hell broke loose. And they even came out afterwards and said he should never been sent off, where it's too late now with 3-0. Horrendous. So I still worry about
that. Just to worry a little bit more, this will be the first time we had Derby that features VAR.
Well,
didn't have it in the FA Cup game because it was so early on in the tournament. This will be the first time there's ever been VAR.
And it's a funny one because really you should say with VAR that you wouldn't get that Colaccini red card or you wouldn't get this, but I didn't trust VAR. That just it doesn't.
Yeah, it's just still opinion based.
Yeah. So that worries us a bit. And I think it's probably in regards to how them play that. I think I referenced this on the Leverkusen game, certainly the first half. When I've watched Sunderland, it might be different because they're at home tomorrow, by the way, and I might be talking out my shoe here, but Leverkusen played incredibly deep, hard to beat. Come and break we're down. We've got no chance, by the way. We can't break anyone down for some reason. And every single time them counter-attacked, they looked like they were going to score. Certainly in the first half. The second half, by the way, we were fantastic. I thought the second half.
Great second half, yeah.
But that kind of style worries us that I think Sunderland will not sit off it and say, come on then, break. But they do with Liverpool. Come and break we're down, and we won't be able to do that. And then they'll hurt one on the break. And when I mean break, I mean throwing balls into the box, set pieces, getting corners. I think when I'm watching it with you, I think I'll have to turn around or something. I got to the toilet or something because I don't think I'll be able to actually physically watch them because that's how nervous I am about them moments in the game.
So last time we played Sunderland in the FA Cup, Sunderland had 0 corners. Well, that's unheard of.
Yeah,
0 corners.
Yeah, I know they were a League One side, but I remember coming away from that game incredibly happy, by the way, but very disappointed in how them approached that game. Whereas we know it's going to be totally different tomorrow. But listen, they've got some decent players. I actually quite like that Mr. Blobby up front. Like, I think he's Irish. I think he puts himself about. Like,
you've said it. We weren't going to be harsh on this one. You've said it.
No, I'm being complimentary.
What's going to happen now because of you calling him Mr. Blobby? He's going to get a hat-trick or something.
Well, he is. I'm being complimentary. Listen, he's a big lad up front. Like,
you called him Mr. Blobby.
And listen. I think for me, right, the first. And I know you could say this about any game of football, right? So it's going to sound quite amateurish what I want to say. Got to get through the first 10, 15. If they can get through the first 10, 15. And what I want them to do, right? Well, I want them to be 2-0 up, to be honest. But I wouldn't mind us playing boring football, possession-based. Kill the crowd. Kill them. Like, keep the ball. Don't have to go anywhere with it, man. Just pass it round. Just keeping the ball and just quieting that crowd down. Because I know Shaka or someone's going to fly in on someone, try and get the crowd up, etc. If they get a set piece early on, for example, a corner, goodness me, they're going to be up for it. And we've just got to try and weather that opening stages of the game. And I think we'll be all right after that if we can.
So I'm going to flip around, okay? Because we said the thing that we're most worried about.
The positives the last 30 seconds.
Well, no, definitely not. What's your positive that you have going in the game? I'll give you mine. Mine's a player. Mine's Bruno Guimaraes.
Love him.
Because he's on fire at the minute. And I think he's a type of player, if he keeps his cool, which we know he's had issues with before, but I think he's learned a lot from that since getting the captain's armband at the club. I think if he plays to his best of his ability, if he's calm, okay, collected on the ball, and just plays the game, not the occasion, he can win us a lot of free kicks and slow the game down, because I think that's what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to manage the game how we want it, not how they want it.
I completely agree. And if you could guarantee us, if we get the Bruno that came off the bench against Spurs in that second half, well, he'd be the best player on the pitch, put it that way. Because that performance from Bruno, and not just that one, there has been a lot this season. I agree with you totally. He is the type of person who tries to put the team on his back and carries them through games. I've seen him do that a few times this season. Fulham at home sticks in my mind there, where literally just puts the team on his back and goes. And I think the other positives we've got, I still look at them fullbacks all the time, and think Hall and Tino are just night and day, Like, we have a good team and we are a good football side, like we are.
You're a very good side, I guess.
Yeah, we are a good team, and maybe I should believe in that more than I do sometimes. But yeah, I would agree with you, Bruno. Fantastic. I'm going to mention Gordon again, as I did before. I just feel Gordon, and I'm going to say one more person why I'm positive, and it's one man, is Eddie Howe. I'm going to say we've got a manager who's won our first trophy. He's achieved things that we never expected to happen so early, and I think it's probably going to be the calmest man out of anybody is Eddie Howe. That's it's who he is and how he is. And fingers crossed he can set up the team in the right way and get the job done. But I would take a point now, if I'm being really honest, and move on to Monday morning, like, quite easily.
I said that to Amy earlier on, because she's similar to Lisa. Like, she's obviously a Newcastle fan, but she doesn't get worked up going into a derby like me and you do. And I said, if you could tell me now that, Chris, you can go to sleep, wake up Monday morning and know that Newcastle have not lost the derby, I would take that right now. Take it right now.
Yeah, 100%, mate. And it's mad, isn't it? Because I haven't even thought about the points involved. Like, I've never even thought of it. Oh, if we win this, we'll go to this position. It doesn't
even be a game changer, Decker. Game changer on that league positions.
And it could be because my dad mentioned it. He was like, "But don't forget, if we win, we'll go above them," and all this type of stuff. And I was saying, God, it's the first time I've even thought about points. I'm just thinking about the rivalry in terms of friends and work colleagues and the pride of the club you support, right? And
you're thinking about yourself, Decker.
Yes, selfishly. Yes, selfishly, yeah.
And I think there's a couple of other things to mention as well. That Sunderland have 6 or 7 players, I think it is, going to the African Cup of Nations on Monday morning. Do you think that will affect their performance?
I only think it affects it positively. I hate to say that.
Oh, really?
Because I feel that they'll know that this is like their last game before they're gone. And I feel like they'll want to leave everything out on the pitch for that game. Because
you're not thinking of it the other way around, though.
They don't want to get hurt.
Don't want to get hurt.
Okay, well, yeah. Yes, you could. So, because I'm really nervous, let's go for that side of the argument.
I'm trying to find positives for you, Deck. I'm trying my hardest, mate.
Yeah, no, listen, you're right. Maybe they don't want to get hurt. Like, how many times have we said that when England players are going on the World Cup and we're like, he hasn't went in for that 50-50 because he doesn't want to miss the World Cup or whatever it may be. And you're right, the African Cup of Nations is their biggest competition, no doubt about it. So, yeah, maybe I look at it glass half empty. That's normally how I always look at things, and think maybe they'll want to really prove themselves and know this is my last game before I do off, and they'll want to give everything they've got.
I'm going to end on this final question. I think you know what it's going to be. Predictions, Decker.
Oh God. I'm going to go. I'm giving you 2, whether you like it or not. I'm giving you a heart and a head one. So my heart is saying. My heart's saying 2-2. My head's saying 2-1. Then.
I did the preview, so if people haven't watched the preview, go and check that out, because it's me, Joe, Ben, and who else was it? Sorry, shit, I completely forgot. Ian. It was Ian. It was a forward. I said 1-1, and I think I'm sticking with 1-1. And I'm not sure if that's just my head saying, Chris, like, you just don't want to lose the derby. I'm not sure if it's just that. But then again, we do have the quality, Decker. We've got the quality there. And I think if we hadn't had such a bad start to the season, and obviously the whole issue taking so long to get that away win, and the fact that Sunderland got such a fantastic home record as well, obviously my answer is going to be completely different. So Of course, as Newcastle fans, you want to go to their place and absolutely smash them like we did last time. But I think it's just going to be completely different. And do you know what? It's one of those occasions where it's probably been the closest derby for a long, long time when you're looking at both teams going into it. And I just think I wouldn't be shocked with any result. So I wouldn't be shocked if it goes and it's a 3-3 thriller. I wouldn't be shocked if Sunderland go and win 2-1, 3-1. And I wouldn't be shocked if we go and do the same. If we go win 2-3-1. It's one of those that's so hard to predict right now. And I couldn't tell you the last time I went into a derby and it being like this. Couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I would agree with you totally there. And a few of the Sunderland fans that I know I was messaging today, he said...
Before you block them later on tonight.
I have blocked a few, like... but actually, do you know what it is? I'm actually going to read what he said, actually. He said, when I go back up here, so I was messaging him, and he said, one thing I will say is I don't think there's been a more anticipated derby for as long as I can remember. Great. The hype and build-up and the coverage on the telly, etc., has just been next level. He says, I know social media is a massive aspect now and it's bigger than what it was in the past, but I feel the coverage and the talk is literally everywhere at the minute. And to be fair, he's absolutely bang on. And to your point, I think it's because it's the closest the teams have been ever, really. In the last 10 years, they were good.
League position,
the last 10 years, this is the closest it's ever been. So, of course, this is going to be the biggest.
I saw something earlier, and I can't remember what it was because there's been loads of channels that have had like Newcastle versus Sunderland fan, like as the producing videos at the moment. And it was one of them, a Sunderland fan, being like, "Oh well, you haven't played a derby at the stadium for 10 years." And like the Newcastle fan just took it. I was like, if that was me, I'd be going, that's our fault. You were so shit. You're in a different league.
Yeah, I hear that. I hear that argument. I do. It's like, yeah, but we've won the last 7 out of 8, or whatever it may be. Right? I'm probably wrong with my stats there, as usual. But I say, well, yeah, but you weren't around. I'm sorry, like if you're not in the same division, you're almost holding that against us. And I'll tell you something else as well. Every time I mention that FA Cup game, my God Almighty, that's through under the carpet quicker than when I dropped something on the floor.
Didn't happen. That didn't happen.
But if them had won, they would have still had FA Cup pictures on the wall about that game. So come on here, like
it's mad to think that there's a full generation that have not experienced the Premier League derby.
Yeah, I know. Do you know what it is? I seen something on the internet. I don't know where it was, saying like the last time Sunderland beat Newcastle, iPhone still had a phone jack for headphones, jack in your phones, and like it was like loads of like random stuff like that. Obviously, the Queen was still alive. There was Brexit hadn't happened. There was like so much stuff, like that just hadn't happened. And I'm like, Jesus Christ! Like it is mad. Like when you think of it,
we've had 2 kids in that time.
Yeah. Well, then we've had 2 kids, and we've been relegated twice since then. It's just crazy, right? Like it blows your mind a little bit. It does blow your mind. And when you think of it that way, if you think of all of these things, as long as Dr. Newcastle doesn't come in the bloody surgery tomorrow, like we should be okay. You know what I mean? Like we should be all right.
Do you feel a bit more calm after this, Dicker?
A little bit. If I'm honest, I'm glad I've done it because it hasn't been good the last few days. I'll tell you the reason why it started on Wednesday as well. I'm going right back to the start. I know I mentioned about Leverkusen game, blah blah blah. My 2 kids do a hobby which is in Sunderland. So on a Wednesday, it's my job to take them. And it's right next to the stadium, like pretty close to where it is. I go to the McDonald's.
It's a little picking.
And I was just like sitting looking at the stadium thinking, bloody hell. Like, and all these thoughts are going through my head. That's ridiculous, And, it's just, that's when it all started because I was there, right? And I don't know about Mark, right? Because I don't really know Mark's social friends other than like, we'll speak to him on Monday.
Yeah.
I still think it's different for me and you, like, if I lived in Milwaukee or Newcastle, right, and I didn't work with any Sunderland fans, and I've got no Sunderland friends, this game would not mean as much. I'm sorry, it wouldn't. It just wouldn't. Like I want to win every game of football I play, but it's because all of my friends are Sunderland, really, and I live where I live. It's like if I open the front door, I reckon there'll be a line of Sunderland fans outside my door waiting to have a go. Like that's how I feel.
I'm going to post your address on social media tomorrow. We'll get a few more in that queue for you, mate.
It's like, I'll go to my son's football on Monday, and I think 4 of the team support Sunderland. So I know when I go, the dads will be like, I know what's coming.
Oh, they'll have the Sunderland shirts on.
I know what's coming. And to be fair as well, and sorry, I got on now, I think that's why it gets under my skin as much as it does, is that there was is they're all out the wardrobe and they're all here now, and that's what pisses us right off. Is like the Premier League shared something the other day, right? And it was amazing goals by Chelsea players or something, right? And it was Robin scoring against Sunderland in the Premier League, right? There was about 18 fans in the ground, right? I'm not kidding, right? 18 fans, right? And Robin does all these tricks, bang, typical Robin goal. And I'm thinking, what? And then there were some other things I see in the Championship, League One, etc. And now they've got a full display tomorrow. The place will be rocking, and I'm like, hang on a second.
Yeah, at the top, didn't they, for the full season?
Exactly. And it gets to this, you know, and it shouldn't. I should just be able to laugh it off and not think about it. But it actually gets to us so badly that I get so annoyed that, I mean, I've had to block off Lisa's family, man, because on Facebook they never talk about football. Honestly, they did not talk about football for 9 years. 9 years, you know, almost a decade. All my first child's life, right? Wouldn't talk about football. Didn't talk about it, right? Maybe on Boxing Day when at a family party be the odd thing, right? Nothing. Didn't mention it. Now, my God, you cannot move for Hummel shirts. You cannot move for people talking about Sunderland.
I think we've all got family members like that from the red and white side of Tyneside, South Tyneside, that are the same.
It's just not honest.
Get on the soapbox, don't they? When things are going well.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, man. It just annoys us.
Just before we go, I just want to say thanks to Jeff. Jeff has sent in a £20 donation as well. So thanks very much, mate. I really appreciate it. But yeah,
I feel really good off that rant. Like,
ask us tomorrow, and I think it's. I might have a different prediction for you tomorrow, Decker. And it's not because I'm going to drink right the way through the night. I promise you.
The drink does help, I think. Like.
Yeah, so we're out early doors tomorrow. Like I said earlier on, there's a big group of us out. So if anybody does bump into it tomorrow, come over and give her a bit of a chat as well, because we're loving interacting with people.
Give us a hug.
Yeah, give her hugs. Hugs and a pint. Just one hug and a pint. That's what we'll accept from people. There's been a question for you, Decker. It's a wrestling question. It's been a little while since we have this. And are you watching John Cena's final fight tonight?
I think the problem is it's the time it's on. I think by the time whoever's asked the question might be able to correct us before we go off. Chip has. What time's his fight, do you reckon, mate? What time? Because I think it doesn't start at 1 o'clock. So that's just going to be too late for me. Yeah. But it's his last one. Well, for now it's his last one. It's his retirement match. But like, you know, I'm not happy with who he's fighting either. But to be fair, I don't watch it really this much. But I try my best to keep up to date to see what's going on. Oh, I see what I mean, 4 a.m. That's just
no thanks.
But I might watch it in the morning over a few live nights when I wake up in the morning. I might put it on. You can't see him anyway, though, can you? So,
thanks very much, Decker. It's been like you said at the very start of this one before we're going. It's been a nice little therapy session. This as well. I'm a bit more calm. I'm a bit more relaxed about it. Yeah. I'm going to end this stream. I'm going to continue drinking the rest of the bottle of rum that's waiting there as well. And I have some cans in the fridge waiting for breakfast tomorrow as well. So yeah, it's going to hopefully be a good day. I fucking detest derby days. And it's a shame that we're probably going to have another one next season and we're going to do this all again. But yeah, it is what it is.
We've got the march. Remember?
I'll feel different about that being at home.
In our building. I agree with you.
I'll feel a little bit different. But yeah, let's see what happens.
Yes. Thanks, everybody. Thanks everyone for watching. Yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Hope you enjoyed.
A lot of people in the comments saying similar to us as well. Saying thanks for doing this tonight because they've needed it. This is why I wanted to do it, because I thought there would be a lot of people in the same situation as what we were, where they're just sat in a dark room rocking. Yeah, exactly. It's nice just to throw ideas around and just what you're feeling, because it's just so damn stressful. It's just so stressful. Well, I'll see you tomorrow, mate. I'll give you a very big hug as soon as I see you, because I think we might both need it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Come on. Hopefully that hug continues right the way through until late afternoon as well. And we're celebrating on the streets of Tyneside. But thanks, everybody. Watch what you're doing. Stay safe tomorrow, wherever you're watching the match as well. But yeah, how are the lads? And Dagger, hopefully on Monday, you're saying those magic words. I cannot wait. Dagger, I just want that derby victory just for that moment. Cannot wait, man. Thanks very much. I'll see you next time, everybody. Take care, everyone.